Hello, and welcome to an Exchange Wire Cannes Lion special. We're here in the south of France. I've been joined by Amram, who is the Senior Media Director at Heineken USA. Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me.
And we're here just ahead of the Tube Mogul panel discussion about programmatic TV, which you're going to be participating in, Ron. So you've very kindly taken the time to join us beforehand. And I was just wondering if you could tell us, obviously you've been coming to Cannes Lion for a while now, how do you see the role of ad tech? Is it increasingly coming onto the agenda? Is it still a niche play, or is it really right at the main table at this event?
So for us, it's increasing because I think we've been able to prove the impact on the media side, but what ad tech's going to allow us to do is really change how we think about creative and how we message to consumers, because once you're targeting very specifically consumers based on who they are, where they are, what their passion points are, time of day, location, all of those different things, it allows you to then start giving them very specific messages that are more targeted and more relevant to where they are, what they're consuming, what they're interacting with, and what they care about. So that will change how we create campaigns. Yeah. And when you talk about creativity and us all being here for the kind of creativity awards, the Cannes Lion, so it's becoming more relevant. But right now, I don't think marketers have made that big leap forward in terms of how we create content.
And is it at events like this where that message can really be driven home?
I think so. This is, I think from as a marketer, there are very few events where you really can listen to your peers, hear great examples of and new ways of thinking. And Cannes, especially for my boss, the CMO, he always has seen this event as a great place to learn on how to build brands and how to try new things and what is working and what has changed. So this is one of the few events I think that has built a fantastic history of where you can really hear the best and the brightest.
Sure. And at events like this, who is really pushing it on the agenda? Obviously, we have the ad tech companies, and we only need to walk down La Croisette, and we can see all the branding that they have, and they've clearly been throwing money at it. But how is it being met, like say within the agencies, who arguably all this data and tech companies, arguably they threaten their model? Some people would say that. Yeah. So who's driving it? Is it the ad tech companies, or is it the likes of yourselves, a marketer within an organization, instructing your agencies to say, we want you to work with, say, Tube Mogul or whomever?
At the end of the day, change is hard, and for a lot of people, and right now it's being driven mostly bottom up, which is where the ad tech company is trying to push it into the agency and push it into the marketer. I think it should be on the onus on the marketer and on the CMO to really say, I need to be better and more efficient and more effective with everything that we do. And now we're at a time when we can measure that and measure effectiveness and really be transparent on what's working and what's not working. So, I don't know if I can blame the agencies. I don't think that's fair. But I think when you ask the question differently, so SMG MediaVest, my media agency, has been extremely responsive to the new challenges we put in front of them, and when we insert in a technology platform or a data solution, and I think there is a kind of a pregnant pause, but a month or two later, they're taking it they're running with it and moving kind of 3 steps forward. So they are as passionate about learning and being effective as we are. It's when we change the question, I think that allows us to get to a better place.
When you talk about changing the question, though, and you mentioned about effectiveness and the media agencies get it, I'd say that's probably the natural home amongst the agency lands, for using data, et cetera. But if you were to switch the conversation from effectiveness to creativity, how well is that being received?
I think it's hard. We're not there yet, to be quite honest. I think there are some fantastic examples of campaigns, great campaigns in the past 18 months where the ability to be hyper-targeted has led to campaigns that have different versions and where the creative is more of a palette of ideas and not just one big idea.
Sure.
That is starting to come out, and I think more and more you're seeing, especially in the digital the mobile and the social space, you're seeing at least a handful of versions in terms of getting people to engage. But it's not fully versioned to where you're targeting different people and with different backgrounds and different locations. That's not there yet because it's not that easy and simple to do.
Yeah.
And I think we still need technology on the content side to help us get there.
Sure. And I guess just one last question: what are the challenges of introducing that ethos into sort of in the internal organization in Heineken in your case?
Yeah, it's been look, it's a data, and the cost related to data is I think a hard thing to absorb. But I think when you're able to show the benefit of it, and that's what becomes our job to sell, is how can we grow faster? Can we be more efficient and save money? Yeah. And when you start putting these decisions into business metrics and financial metrics that can translate, and that's why I think marketers have to get better at that, and always have had a struggle with that. But when you start changing the language from brand building to this is going to save us money and it's going to help us sell more beer and help us grow our brands, then the conversation starts to change and the resources change. And that's marketers used to be somewhat kind of in their ivory tower and said, let us build the campaigns and let us build the brands and let us create great ads. Now you need CIOs involved and the CFOs involved. And to be honest, in terms of sales data, it's more of an ecosystem, and we have to be better at that.
Okay. Ron, thank you very much for your time. This is Exchange Wire Can, and we'll catch you later in the week. Thank you.
Thank you.